Welcome to another episode in the History of the Blood War series. I am your presenter, J Onwuka. It's been a while since my last upload, so I may be a little rusty, but I'm excited to get back into it. This episode is the first in what will be a quote-unquote season of episodes to come. This season will have a loose focus on the subject that I'll be introducing in this episode, the Ride of Zariel. For those who aren't familiar with this event, here's an overview. Zariel was once an angel in service to the deity known in Faerun as Lathander. She had been observing the Blood War for generations and grew frustrated with the celestial deity's refusal to intervene in the conflict. In 1354 DR, over a century before the current year of 1492, Zariel went to the Faerunian city of Elturel, amassed an army, and led it on a spirited charge into Avernus, the uppermost of the descending nine hells. There, her army was defeated, and she herself was captured. Zariel was brought to Asmodeus, who offered her a place in his hierarchy. She accepted, becoming a fallen angel, and was given lordship over Avernus. In this post, she replaced Bel, he of the Four-Cross, who was demoted to merely being the top general of the Blood War. The details of the story differ slightly between versions. From the sources I have, the versions in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes and in Baldur's Gate Descent to Avernus broadly agree, but that told in the work Infernal Tides is very confused and untrustworthy. Still, what I told before is a general frame that can guide us through this analysis. The question I want to answer is this: why did Zariel conduct her ride to hell? What did she hope to gain? Going by the tale as given, she led one army of mortals against the effectively limitless legions of hell. On its face, this proposition is reckless in its extreme. I can see the argument that Zariel was overcome with a desire to assault the infernal forces, and therefore was willing to take greater risks than normal. Even so, I don't think that even the most insane warlord could imagine that their single army of mortals would conquer all of the nine hells, much less the other lower planes. If we can pinpoint the reason for the charge, we can get a better idea of how Celestials and other non-fiends view intervention into the Blood War. The first issue to deal with in unpacking Zariel's reasoning is the story of Idleglen, relayed through dreams by a Holophant called Lulu. This can be found in Descent to Avernus. As Lulu described it, the town of Idleglen was under attack by an army of gnolls and demons. These were led by the demon lord Yinoku, prince of gnolls and lord of savagery. The town was saved by the appearance of Zariel and a battalion of her followers called the Hell Riders. Yinoku was banished to Avernus by Zariel, who led the Hell Riders right after him. Presumably, this charge from Idleglen was meant to be the famous ride. Even if it wasn't, though, this episode provides a number of problems for the ride narrative. Earlier in the text, we are told by Reyna Mantlemorn, a later generation Hell Rider, that the Hell Riders were formed from those forces who had been mustered by Zariel at Elturel, led into Avernus, and then fled rather than fight to the bitter end. If this is correct, then Zariel should never have ridden with the Hell Riders. If we assume that all of her army was called the Hell Riders before the ride, as some imply, we have to make sense of how Zariel rode into Avernus from both Elturel and Idleglen with the same army. Mantlemorn says that the gate which demons were using to attack Elturel was located west of that city. We could say Idleglen is actually closer to the gate than Elturel itself, while still being in the Elturel region. However, according to Lulu, Yinoku was sent to Avernus by a portal which Zariel herself opened in the moment, not one which pre-existed. It's possible that there was a pre-existing portal as well as the one Zariel opened, but this is never given enough weight for me to feel that it is certain. Because it contradicts with other elements of the ride story, I basically discount the Idleglen story whenever there's an issue. With that out of the way, so that we're working under the assumption that Zariel set off from Elturel, there's an aspect of the story which I cannot explain. Elturel and Idleglen's stories both feature an attack by demons, and both say that Zariel's charge was into Avernus. This makes very little practical sense. Outside of a strong push by demon warlords, the kind that doesn't happen for centuries, demons don't have a strong permanent presence on Avernus. The Elturel story and the story told in Infernal Tides both have devils as the one who meet anyone riding into the Nine Hells. From this we can deduce that, even if it was possible that there was a demonic foothold, there wasn't such a foothold at the time of the ride. For another thing, demons can't be permanently killed on Avernus, so it's not the best place to fight them and to deal a serious blow. The question of why Avernus remains and these issues present an obstacle, but given them, I think there are a few possibilities. The first possibility, and the only one that could aim at a comprehensive victory, is that Zariel hoped to shame/inspire other Celestials to join the fight. If more Celestials could be convinced to fight, they may have in fact been able to do real damage. This would always have been a long shot, however. The Celestial powers had repeatedly, over many ages, made it clear to Zariel that they did not want to get involved in the Blood War. Surely, other Celestials would have known about her inclinations and would have joined if they agreed. There's no record of any other angel riding to hell alongside her. Another possibility is that Zariel had a specific target in mind which she wanted to strike or seize. It definitely seems possible that a mortal army could execute a short assault into Avernus, though it's still unlikely. There is mention made of a massing infernal army on Avernus which Zariel wanted to take out, but it is not clear to me how this is meant. This would be clearer if Elturel had been under attack by devils, as we could see early encounters as pitting mortals against the devil scouts. Instead, we must assume either that these are demons massing on Avernus somehow, which doesn't seem credible, or that Zariel's response to demons attacking the material plane was to attack the domain of the devils, and this needs its own explanation. It's not clear why this particular host needed to be destroyed as well. Devil legions must mass all the time, and they haven't brought out Zariel's anger before. It suggests that something special might be going on, but does not elaborate. While the idea of a targeted strike can't be entirely ignored, I don't think that this is the most likely motivation. Zariel may have wanted to establish a celestial foothold on Avernus, but if so, it was a fool's errand from the beginning. Not even the endless demon hordes have been able to establish a permanent landing point in the Nine Hells. Zariel may also have simply meant to raid the Nine Hells, a kind of exercise of her frustration which went horribly wrong. And though this seems to me like the least satisfying response, I think it's the one which fits best with all the events. It was just an act of passion, a lack of judgment. A lot more things in history turn on just such abrupt acts than we usually admit. However, there is a last possibility. I don't think it's likely because this complexity of narrative isn't like the rest of celestial history. Deceptions nearly always appear as past tense facts, not ongoing concerns. Still, I think the idea is too interesting and makes too much sense not to share. The idea is this. What if the Ride of Zariel was never meant to succeed, because Zariel had always intended to join Asmodeus? One thing that feels clear is that Zariel's main opposition was to demons. When she came to the material plane, she always set herself against demons. It's true that the ride went to Avernus, but in every telling it is made in counter to a demonic threat, not a diabolic one. We can also assume this greater distaste for demons because, as an angel who served order and purity, she was diametrically opposed to demons who embodied chaos and corruption. At least angels and devils shared a love for hierarchy. In fact, if you recall the story of the Pact Primeval, Asmodeus himself had been an angel who became evil through his endless war with demonkind. It's very possible that Zariel, feeling angels and celestial deities did not want to end the Blood War, would then become influenced by the story of one who was willing to go all the way if it helped him wipe out all demons. If Zariel willingly became Asmodeus' servant, several things take on a new light. Most importantly, the ride itself becomes a sacrifice, Zariel bringing hardy, brave souls as tribute for her new overlord. The anger which Zariel expressed at those who fled the fight, something that a benevolent heart might have overlooked, now seems like someone angry that the gifts she planned to bring were ruined. The fact that Zariel had not a single celestial ally now supports her total ostracization, her personal choice to avoid any who might have had the power to stop or even to question her. The reason that she went to Avernus instead of the Abyss is now obvious as well. The reason Asmodeus was so quick to trust her and to elevate her above Bel seems clearer too. She was not just a fallen angel, but a willing convert, someone who might even share Asmodeus' ideology. Bel's demotion could always be explained by Asmodeus' desire to prevent any others from gaining too much power, but now the choice of Zariel specifically as that replacement can be explained as well. I doubt that we will ever find out a definitive answer as to why this Ride of Zariel took place, but I've looked over the angles and come up with what I feel are the most plausible reasons given the available information. This event is a major change in Hell's dynamics, so even if the reasoning is a dead end, there are more topics related to this that will be good to get into. This season will have a mix of episodes, some creature ones, some character ones, and some conceptual ones, so subscribe if you want to keep up on the history of the Blood War. Much appreciation to my patron Greg D. If you want to become a patron, head to patreon.com/nearzone, that's Nearzone. To everyone who's watched, and especially to those who stuck around until now, thanks.